What's happening, Wisdom Warriors? Back at it for another video. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Is everybody ready for the Sunday sermon? 'Cause today is your Sunday sermon. And boy, I have a lot to talk about today. I spent a lot of time in reflection. I'm gonna put in brackets reflection, because that's what this kind of sermon is encompassing. And well, today is officially the third day of my detox, of my fast, of the fast. So a few more hours and I'm reaching three full days. I realized a lot in these last few days. I've gotten a lot of introspection and reflection and I guess pondering on why something has been showing up multiple times. It's interesting because we hit the solar eclipse, and we're kind of sandwiched in between the solar eclipse and the Mercury retrograde, which kind of, well, the Mercury retrograde brings you back into the past and brings past things up for us to look at, and how we can kind of pivot or learn from those situations. And ironically enough, I wasn't really going to talk about it, but I've kind of gotten a bird's eye view, so to speak, on what's been going on through reflection, through just a better understanding, just having nothing to distract me as far as the body going through digesting and all of that. It's kind of given me more opportunity to listen and hear, and it in the beginning, I'm going to be honest, it took me a little while. I had to ask my higher self. I had to ask God, Spirit, Divine, like what's causing this. So I would venture to say probably Wednesday or Thursday this happened, which I talked about it, I think, on previous videos. So not too much, I don't want to give too much TMI, but if you want to hear the story, I'm telling the story regardless. You can kind of skip through if you don't want to hear it. It's not real bad, but it's not like grossing out. But I'll kind of, I would say Wednesday or Thursday, which was around the time of the solar eclipse. I think it happened on Wednesday or Thursday, the 19th or 20th. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I would say probably Wednesday and probably third. Yeah, it was probably third. Well, yeah, it was probably Wednesday, because then I made a full decision that I'm definitely starting a fast on Thursday night after I ate. So yeah, I think it definitely was on Wednesday. Excuse me for a second. So I think it was it was Wednesday, and I woke up and I noticed when I went to the bathroom, pee, there was a little bit of blood in the toilet, and this happened to me kind of back in December. I had a similar situation occur, and but that was kind of a different kind of thing that caused that to occur, which was antibiotics. And so, which I recognized and noticed like a few days after, which when taking that I was bouncing back and forth with my intuition, um, kind of not really wanting to do it, but I ended up ending up doing it, and a couple days later, it affected me. So I started to realize, in doing this, I was taking a herb, and I would put the herb, and basically the herb was cayenne pepper, and it wasn't store-bought cayenne pepper. It was from this company that does a lot of different uh, detoxification things, like I talked about on here, colon cleansing that I was doing and things like that. Well, he sells a cayenne pepper that's pretty potent with only the best ingredients. Well, so every night for dinner, I would put the cayenne pepper on my hummus, and I would have my salad and my hummus with the cayenne pepper on it. Well, as I would eat the top layer of the hummus with the cayenne pepper, I'd pour more on, and then I'd eat that layer and then pour more on. Not realizing that I'm overdoing it in the moment, because I got carried away for one, and also cayenne pepper is good for uh, better blood circulation and different things. But I noticed the signs that my body was kind of telling me. I was feeling like kind of like a burning or hotness in my feet and different parts of my body, and different things were happening. Like I ended up like blowing on the side of the bottle, and the cayenne pepper got near my eye, and it was like burning. There was different things that were happening that were kind of a sign to stop or to not use as much. And this goes back to all these videos that I post, and I'm human, just like all of us, and shit happens. And come to realize, I was speaking to my friend, who we have, friend, brother, uh, we have some things in the works that we've been working on for over a year now. And, we're going to drop another one next week. And, pretty soon we're going to announce the launch of what we're working on. But I was talking to him, and finally just let him know. And he said, well, my body is naturally hot, internally. And that's very true. And so I'm adding something that adds more heat to it. Luckily, fortunately, I'm able to handle the heat. So a lot of other people probably would have ended up in the hospital, but fortunately I wasn't one of them. And, so I'm doing things now. Well, first of all, after I figured that out, not even after, because prior to it, when I started noticing, I'm like, oh great, what's the lesson I need to learn in this? Because as I spoke about, Mercury retrograde brings up things from the past that we need to reflect on, and how we can kind of improve ourselves going forward. So I'm wondering, I'm like, what do I need to learn from this? This is like the third time this happened, but they were from different things. And but the different things were overdoing. The Actually, two times we're overdoing. One time, maybe it was overdoing, I don't know, but like when you take antibiotics, you have to take them every 8 hours. So I was taking those pills like 3 times a day for a whole week. I don't know, maybe that is overdoing. That's what it said on the bottle, you know. But the first time this happened, which probably was over 10 years ago, well over 10 years ago, I was taking excessive Tylenol and aspirin. I mean, excessively, because I had massive migraines to the point where I had to shut the blinds, and I couldn't see out. I couldn't see light during the day. It was so bad. So every hour I would pop those Tylenols or those BC powders, and eventually it caused bleeding. Uh, so did the antibiotics. Now the cayenne pepper did. They're different things, but they're things that I was overdoing, which then led to difficulties in the body, health-wise. Well, fortunately, I caught this at the right time, and I stopped and I said to myself, "Boom! I need to fast. I need to rebalance, reset my body." And I kind of was getting that intuition already at the beginning of the week when I finished the last fast last weekend, and I was already getting like kind of messages that I need to fast from hearing from other people and just messages of my own, which then caused me to fast. This weekend, starting on Thursday night, was my last meal, and I've been doing nothing but lemon water and coconut water, both very hydrating things that can cool the. And I've been doing kind of the coconut water kind of cool, so it could cool the body internally. Um, of course, my body's going to go back to doing it on, doing it on its own, because it will naturally just do that. But if I want to ramp it up, there's different things I can do, which my friend and brother told me. Do some watermelon. You could do blackberries and blueberries, cucumbers. Those are all things that will cool the body. Lemon balm, another herbal, tincture. So those are things that, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you what to do if you're experiencing anything. I'm just telling you my journey and my experience. So I have to always say that disclaimer. I don't want somebody doing something and then commenting and saying, I told you to do it. I'm telling you my experience and my journey, and I just want to make that clear. And I realized that, as I said, it took me a little while to go back, where I went back and forth and was doubting a little bit and questioning, like, could that really have done that? And yes, it could. And so, what do you think the fasting is doing? It's bringing down the inflammation in the body. It's bringing down the heat. It's resetting the body back. It's basically resetting, bringing me to a reset, especially hitting 3 days. And that's why I'm going to essentially go till probably a fourth day, maybe, which will be Monday night. I'll break my fast. We'll see. Maybe I'll go a little bit longer. I don't know. We'll see how things go. I'm taking it day by day, moment by moment. I'm not putting pressure on myself. I'm going to, depending on how I feel, will be, my progress. I feel pretty good. Um, to be honest with you, actually, this time, it's a lot better than the other times I did it every other week, where I did it for roughly 2 days. Um, this time it seems to be I'm handling it a lot better. Not that I didn't handle it better then, but I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, you get moments you feel kind of weak physically, and but the hunger part of it, it's kind of gone. Yeah, it would be nice to eat some food and taste some food, but I'm giving my body a chance to heal, and that is what I'm doing. And by not distracting the healing process with the food digestion, I'm giving my body a chance to heal. And, faster than it would have if I would have ate each day. So, yeah, I wasn't going to tell you guys this yet. I wanted to get a bird's eye view of the whole thing, and but I actually know what happened and why it happened, and it happened through me overdoing. And we can overdo eating. We can overdo certain types of food. We could eat the same thing over and over again and overdo it, and it can cause health problems or difficulties in our life in general with anything you're doing. It could be herbs, it could be aspirin, it could be whatever the case may be. You can have a level of overdoing, and it can cause a negative impact on your health, like I'm finding. And I'm fortunate that I got a sign from the body again, and it took me into a deep introspection or reflection, or where I mulled over what has gone on the last 2 times this happened. Now, mind you, they were different situations, different things I was doing, but they were still overdoing. Just like times in the gym when I remember I was in the gym overdoing it, like I did, and let me just say this, man, I am so proud of myself. And I said this to him when I was talking to him earlier and telling him the situation at hand. Uh, you know, I was telling him I'm really proud of myself that I recognized it and I had that awareness and I stopped and I evaluated the situation and I said, wait a minute, I need to fast. I need to reset the body or assist in that immediately. And so, yes, I had the last meal Thursday night and then I proceeded to fast on water and lemon water and coconut water. And yes, we can do that. We can overdo with many things in our life. And so, getting back to the gym situation, I remember being in the gym and overdoing it, and then all of a sudden, going to pick up the curl bar off the ground, bent over, and my back completely went out, and I was on the floor, and it was embarrassing, and I had to, like literally struggle leaving the gym, and I was so afraid that people would see my weakness. And this had to be well over 5 years ago, maybe more, probably, I would say 7 years, 8 years, 10 years maybe. And, I had to pretend the way I walked out of the gym so that I didn't want people noticing that I was kind of weak. And that's what I felt then. Now I feel completely different. As I was telling him, I'm so proud of myself and where I've come. And because in the past, I was telling him also, I was talking about this practice this practitioner I would see well over 10 years ago. And the type of modality I was seeking out required you to do these multiple different types of, I guess, fasts, so to speak, where you had to like let go of certain types of foods. To do each level of the practice, you had to like let go of sugar, you had to let go of carbs, you had to let go of wheat, but it was stages of it. You had to do it in stages and for a certain amount of days. And one of them, I remember I had to give up like a certain kind of meat for like a good week. I had to give up sugar for a certain amount of time. And I remember back then how much I struggled with that. And I was so angry that I had to do it. And then I got to that point that I even had to do this. And I was angry at myself for having to give up those things, and everybody else in the world was eating them and I couldn't eat it for a whole week, and it was the hardest thing. I remember going through such struggle, and like it was like internally I was kicking and screaming, like I was on somebody's shoulder throwing my arms up like this and kicking and screaming and with my feet, and just like, this sucks, this is bullshit, like everybody else can eat this stuff and I can't. And now it's like I'm a whole new person. It's like I'm okay with it, and I've come to like peace with it and acceptance, and like it's okay. And I'm not craving anything. Like I even remember when I like, even in the beginning when I first started fasting like a couple months ago, and I did 2 day fasts. I remember thinking about like certain foods, and I remember this like 5-10 years ago, the same thing when I had to fast when I was told you have to do this, like in 2017, when I had to cut out I was still in Florida at that time, and I was around a lot of people, I was putting myself around a lot of people that were eating junk still and stuff like that, and it required me to have more discipline and more strength just to not eat those types of things. And I couldn't do it. I was 100% not allowed to, because I was, that was the start of the mold stuff, but I didn't really fully know that mold was involved until 2020. But I still was told there was mold involved even then in 2017, 2018, and other things that forced me to cut out a lot of different things out of my diet. And it was really, really hard. And I remember stopping the stuff. I remember having to go on like a candida diet, if you've ever heard of that. which is like where you had to stay away from yeast. And I remember literally looking on the internet at the things you can eat on one of those diets, and it's literally nothing. You have to cut out pretty much everything. And I've followed that since 2020, pretty much. There's very little that I have that doesn't still follow that diet, even though I don't think I really fully need to anymore. But regardless of that, I don't want carbs in my diet, like wheat and flour. I have grain-free stuff. I have more raw and less processed because I know that I became addicted to processed foods and I had to cut that stuff out. And so, yeah, you walk around, but it's like I go in the supermarket and I walk past those aisles and I'm not craving it like I used to in 2017 and 2020 in the beginning when I first started that journey. Like, man, I would like dream of like, when can I have pizza again? Like real pizza that you would get at a pizzeria. Or when can I have like, like incorporate sweets and sugars back in? And I feel like at this point, I don't plan on ever doing that. I don't know what'll change in the future, because I'm always growing and changing and evolving, and maybe in the future, maybe I will, do it in moderation. Maybe it will, things like this that I just went through with the cayenne pepper, and learning another lesson of moderation and how important moderation is in everything we do. Everything we do, because that taught me such a lesson, and from a plant, okay, from a plant. Every ingredient that was in there was herbs, and still you could overdo that and have difficulty with your health. So it doesn't matter what the case may be. It could be alcohol, it could be sugar, it could be something natural that you're eating that you think is natural and healthy, and you can still overdo it. And you could still not have balance within while doing that and create an issue like what happened to me. And, this has happened to me 2 other times, and this time, even the last time, back in December, I wasn't scared. I didn't go into fear. I thought about it. I'm like, well, what is a doctor though going to tell me really? What are they really going to do? Like the first time that it happened over 10 years ago from aspirin and Tylenol, they just said, are you having, after they did a scope up the man's, genital part, a camera up there, which mind you, it was not an enjoyable time. Let me just tell you, okay? If you're a man, you probably can know what I'm talking about. So with that being said, it was not enjoyable. Trust me when I tell you. And they told me nothing when they did an ultrasound on the stomach and they said, oh, we don't see anything. And are you taking aspirin or Tylenol? And I said, yes. Well, there's your problem. And that's all they said. And then I stopped. And then eventually it just stopped on its own. And then back in December, same thing. I did some things though, like I took some teas, herbal teas and stuff like that to help with the urinary tract back in December. But after a little while, it just kind of dissipated. When I obviously got off the antibiotics after a week. So, I just was having the cayenne pepper last week. I would even venture to say up to Thursday. Prior to me finishing the fast on Thursday night, I was having it in my hummus with my salad Thursday night. So it just happened recently. And so I have to obviously give the body a chance to heal and rebalance and reset. And that's what the fasting is doing. And then once I incorporate food back in, I will do like watermelon and blueberries and blackberries and kind of gradually bring in the food, but bring it in with stuff and cucumbers, things that are hydrating and cooling to the body internally. And that will ramp up the healing process and automatically bring me back to balance. Now, again, the fasting is a reset, and it's resetting my body. And I could feel it right now as I'm talking to you, heat in my feet. And I felt it in different parts of my legs, like just periodically, just like pulsating. But I can feel it in the toes of my feet. So yeah, I overdid the cayenne pepper big time. Not thinking about it, not thinking, oh well, this is a healthy thing. This helps with the blood circulation in the body and the blood flow, and and different other different things that they talk about. But anything, no matter what it is, you can overdo it and cause problems for yourself that you're going to then have to, you know, uh, uh, do something to change or help assist the body if you want it to rapidly happen faster. So it's like, the reason I'm talking about this today on Sunday's sermon, because we are in Mercury retrograde. We are in a solar eclipse. Mercury retrograde goes till May 14th. This is a time of reflection on our past. Okay? And people, things are going to come up. I started noticing all of a sudden something came up for me to start cleaning the area at the front door. I had these containers there with a bunch of receipts and things I had found in containers that I'm going through and donating. I started donating more stuff last week. Well, I started going through it like the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I said, "Oh, I'm going to do it over the weekend," not remembering that it's Mercury retrograde. I started seeing things from my past, from 2015, things that I bought. They were receipts, all kinds of things that were reminding me of the past. And you know, all of this has come full circle in the last couple days for me. I'm sure for you also, whoever's watching this. And if it's the case, drop it in the comments. I would love to hear your story. I hope that you're getting something out of this. I hope that it gives you the opportunity to reflect on things in your life that maybe you are overdoing too much, and maybe it will assist you and help you in that not happening to you, because that's my hope and my dream with this channel, to come on here and share my story and my f ups, because it is kind of that. But I'm happy that it happened, and it happened when it did, because my body was telling me a warning sign, and I heard the warning. I heeded that warning fast. And now I'm going to even more, even if I do incorporate cayenne pepper back into my diet, it's going to be very little and very small, and in moderation, in very small amounts. If I even do it all. I really learned a big lesson from this, and I trust and believe I got the warning. I got the message. The universe don't have to come for me with another 2x4. I got the message loud and clear. And it's reminding me of the fact that I do need to incorporate things that keep the internal body cooling, like different things like cucumbers, and maybe have a little bit of blueberries and blackberries and a little bit of watermelon here and there. Not too much, not excessively, just in moderation, so that it keeps the internal body cool, so that you have both a balance of the warm and the cool, and so yeah, I mean, it was a big lesson for me, and I got a lot of reflection and a lot of just more reason for me to pay attention to how much and how many things I'm overdoing and how many things I'm doing in moderation. And just paying attention to that, because it's so important, man. I mean, it didn't scare me. It scared me over 10 years ago when it happened, and I was on the road traveling, and I went into a public bathroom and a urinal, and I went to the bathroom, and a little bit of blood came out, and trust me, I was scared and in fear. And yet the last time back in December, no, not really. I'm at peace with it, because It's teaching me something. It's showing me something. And just like the stuff with the lifting up the curl bar at the gym and my back going out, or, you know, the time that in 2017 when it happened and I lifted up a empty gift bag and my back completely went out and I was on the floor. Those were all signs that I was getting prior to those major situations that happened with my health. I was getting warning signs up until that point. And those warning signs were telling me from the body, hey, you're overdoing. Hey, take a look. Hey, reflect. Hey, take a bird's eye view of what you're doing and why this is happening. Like if you're getting colds like periodically or quite often, like I used to in the past, those are all warning signs of the body breaking down. And it's showing you, and it's telling you, and it's giving you signs and messages so that you can reflect and get a bird's eye view of your life and your situations and what you're doing in your life, and how you can pivot and change that. And before the major breakdown happens, like what happened to me multiple times, I had to continually, at that time, I wasn't thinking. I was into health. I was into, I ate, so I thought I ate pretty healthy. And so I thought I did going to the gym. You can go to the gym, but if you overdo it, that's the problem that lies. You can still overdo healthy things. And it can create dis-ease in the body. It can create health issues in the body. It can create all kinds of things. It doesn't matter if it's junk or it's healthy. There has to be a perfect balance in everything you do. In what you're eating, in your workload, in your working lifestyle, in your career, in your romantic relationships, in your family relationships, in every dynamic in your life, there has to be a perfect balance. And everything has to be in moderation. When you do anything in excess, it doesn't matter what it is, it can create problems in your life. And trust me, I'm speaking to you from experience. Okay? I've been through a lot in my life, and I've seen a lot. And I'm speaking from experience. Start sitting down is a perfect time of reflection in this Mercury retrograde, to reflect on how you've been going about things in your life, in your past, and who you were then and who you are now. And are you doing things in moderation? Are you doing things, with balance involved? Because that's the most important thing. That's true mastery. And I want to read something to you all, man. I really wanted to read this in the beginning of the video, but this is how I'm going to close the video off. I don't know, to be honest with you, where I got this, but I got this many years ago. And I don't know who the author is of this, or who quoted this quote, or who created it. But all I have it on a piece of paper that I carried with me all the time. And I'm getting chills kind of as I'm about to read this to you. So whoever needs to hear this, I hope that you listen to the whole video and you get to the end and get to hear this message and get to hear this entire message, because it's really powerful. And I used to say this all the time, and I kind of lost it. And as I'm going through stuff from the past that I was throwing away and shredding and, just getting rid of, I found this. So listen up. Life loves me, and all will be well this year. I feel a glow of success surrounding me. I forgive and forget all the people, places, and events that disappointed me last year. Those experiences no longer exist. I turn my face towards the bright future that is waiting for me. And let's affirm this year brings positive changes and success at every turn, beginning my mornings with a declaration of love for myself, reflects my fresh outlook for the new year. And what a beautiful message. And hey man, if you have to stop the video and write it down, each part of it, and then fast forward through the whole thing to get the whole message written down, by all means do it. And repeat this because it's a beautiful message to start your day with, and it gets you in a really good mindset, a good frequency, a good vibration, and a good headspace. So with that being said, I love you all so much. I really thank you and appreciate all the new subscribers. The channel's growing. It's growing slowly, but it's growing. And, the message is getting out, and it will continue to get out for whoever needs it. And so, if you feel like in your life you have been and you are overdoing things, and look at every area of your life and evaluate it and reflect on it. That's what this time of Mercury retrograde is about. Reflecting and what if you were overdue shopping or sweets or whatever the case may be, drinking, whatever the case may be, evaluate each area of your life and see if you are overdoing it, or if you feel like those certain areas are in balance and other areas aren't, and you're doing this area in moderation. Just evaluate that, reflect on it, and look at your past and the situations that you've been in. And if you're getting this repeat pattern like I did, like in this situation, this is the third time now, and it's just a reminder to me that, hey, I gotta look at certain things that I'm doing. Even if they're healthy, they still can be bad. They can still be negative if you overdo it. So you can even overdo drinking water. You can overdo drinking water if you drink too much water. So even that can be overdone. So with that being said, I love you all so much. Thank you again for all the comments, all the likes, all the shares, all the subscribers that we're gaining. We're gaining subscribers each and every day, and I love you all so much. I thank you so much for just taking the time to listen to this content and gain some perspective and knowledge and evolve and grow from it. Because that's the important thing, that you're not just watching these videos out of entertainment, that you're watching them to learn and grow and evolve. I love you all so much. Please subscribe, please comment, please share, please like, and just keep doing you, man, and keep looking at your areas in your life that you're in balance. I hope you enjoyed the Sunday sermon. Till next time, we're going to do these sermons every Sunday and come with a new message. This message was reflection, because that's a common theme that we're all going through right now. Again, I love you all so much, from my heart to yours. Take care, stay well, stay blessed, and just take care of yourself and each other. From my heart to yours, I love you all so much. Let's go, Wisdom Warriors, we got this!